Dr. Jim Rozelle from the University of Mississippi came here wanting to know where he could find Marshall Grant. And of course, it didn't take him much time to find out he was at the right place. So we went out on my front porch to meet each other and get to know each other, and told me for the first time that I had ever heard anything about it, that he had been doing a trial program on eradicating the boll weevil in Mississippi. And he was convinced that he could eradicate the boll weevil. There was a possibility of getting it done. Everywhere he went, he had a lot of opposition, but the Secretary of Agriculture had been to him and asked him if he couldn't originate the eradication program. So I started a trial program in 1970 in Mississippi to prove that I could do so, and I have convinced myself and a few other people that we can eradicate the boll weevil. And after a successful 3-year trial, in my judgment, I was ready to go to eradicate the boll weevil, but all of the neighbors that I went to were satisfied I had no chance of eradicating the weevil. I was only fooling myself. Anyway, I still was determined that there was a way to do it and that I ought to get it started. I started at New Mexico to talk to farmers about starting an eradication program there. They were convinced that I could not be successful, and I got nowhere talking with them. I came on into Texas and talked to my neighbors there, could find no one interested in helping me with a boll weevil eradication program. I have been to every state from Texas to North Carolina to see if I could find an area that might be interested in starting an eradication program. Well, along the way, he indicated to me that my name had come up several times as being interested in boll weevil. So he finally wound his way to here, and he told me that he thought I was the man to help him start a boll weevil eradication program, because he had heard that I operated a pest management program here in my community, and that maybe I had enough understanding that we might work together to begin a boll weevil eradication. So around 1975, I agreed that I would do my best to help him, that yes, I had had considerable experience, and yes, I believed with a little cooperation we could eradicate the boll weevil. And he said, well, I was the first man that ever told him that, and he was ready to begin it. And so that was the beginning of boll weevil eradication. About 1975, when with my background and experience in operating a boll weevil control program here, I had learned that by spraying a lot of cotton in the same area in the same time, in our immediate short time, was the best way to be effective with my control of boll weevil. And so I followed that by hiring an aerial applicator who had 3 airplanes available to do crop spraying with. Got him to come to our community, my community. He was already doing some of my work, but he began to do all of my work, and it was all done with aerial application in my spray group. And so that sort of was the background of my reputation as being a good manager of boll weevil and reducing the population in our community here in Virginia and North Carolina, the most northern and northeastern part of the United States that grew cotton. And so he asked me if I wouldn't help, and of course it sounded great to me. It would put me to doing on a larger scale the things I had been doing on 20 or 25,000 acres of cotton here in my community. And so thus the start of boll weevil eradication program.